Who joins us now. He's a spokesman, League of Northern Democrats, and also a chieftain of the African Democratic Congress. I am unclear as to whether you saw this decision of INEC to not recognize the leadership of the ADC on their website. Did you see it coming, sir?
When you look at the antecedents of INEC, running from, the outcome of the elections in 2023. And when you look at the other party, I'm talking about the APC, and the way they have, power was transmitted, the baton was handed from one party chairman to the other. If you can remember, Mai Malabuni handed over to who? Ganduje, and then Ganduje to Nentawe. This was done in the boardroom. It was done with the presidency as the overall monitor. And nobody, INEC did not tell us whether they were there when the transmission of power from these people, was done to monitor and to tell Nigerians. INEC didn't issue any statement to question whether there was a decision from the National Working Committee of the APC when these people, changed buttons. And then all of a sudden, you now have an INEC that is exploiting, that is, using the, if you like, the instrumentality of the courts to come up with something that is scandalous. There is no way you can look at what happened with INEC and not feel sorry for Nigeria. I feel extremely embarrassed. As a citizen, I feel scandalized. And as a politician, INEC has lowered the standards of politics and integrity in the whole issue. Why should INEC try to translate to Nigerians and to a political party what status quo ante bellum is? It simply says, Maupe, status quo ante bellum. It's not, the definition is universal. If you go to Ghana or Kenya or any British colony, that means even if there is a dispute, you must go back to the situation before the dispute erupted, which is to say they go back and, speak to David Mark and Aregbesola, because it is an internal affairs of the party, is an internal affair, rather, of the party. And what we saw, we didn't see it coming because we operate on the scale of transparency, due diligence, and conscience, and the integrity that comes with it. All of a sudden, we have, somebody who is an interloper, a usurper, somebody who has never had any, meeting that is of any high-profile value, that is known to the media or to anyone, just popped up, wrote a letter, got to the courts, and then what did we see? We now see what I will support the views of our own national chairman, David Mark, who says that the whole thing is an affront, an attack on Nigeria's democracy. To me, beyond that, it is an assault on the conscience of a nation. It is an effrontery. It is a trap to collapse democracy, really. Because once you start to emasculate the political opposition to try to rein them in, so that you can have a space that will give you a free ride to one party state or one party candidacy, I am shocked at, the APC leadership. You have 30 plus governors or 30 governors.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of the things that your party is asking for. The removal of the INEC leadership. You want Professor Joe Ashamupiton removed. You say he has become partisan and untrustworthy. Restoration of confidence in the electoral integrity, non-interference in party leadership, accountability of INEC's actions. And you say you're proceeding with party activities regardless of what INEC has said. You're calling for international attention and calling on us, Nigerians, to defend democracy. But I want to take on this one, proceeding with party activities regardless of INEC. How do you think that's going to come up? How is it going to end? If INEC is saying we're not recognizing any of these factions, pardon the phrase, and you continue with your activities as though INEC hasn't said anything, how do you think that's going to work out for you come 2027?
The INEC chairman has transmuted himself. He has moved from the position of an impartial umpire to a major player on the side of the APC and on the side of the Tinubu-led government. And if we don't take drastic measures to address the situation, this will be up in crisis. It is well known, to Nigerians, but to the opposition especially, the antecedents of the INEC chairman. We thought Yakubu Mahmoud was the problem. Now we know better. Yes, Yakubu Mahmoud had his own issues, but this INEC chairman is a clear and present danger to democracy, to the ADC. And let me sound a note of warning, my sister. We are not a banana republic. We are a nation of 200+ million people. We are approaching the era of campaigns and elections. This INEC chairman had a letter that was transmitted or was sent to INEC conveying the decision of a certain Nafiu Gombe who resigned from the party on the 17th of July with his own handwritten signature, and it was conveyed officially to INEC on the 25th of July last year, and then INEC received this document. This guy resigned. Where is the conscience of a leader? Where is the integrity of the process? Who is actually trying to utilize the loopholes in the system to cause problems and cause discord and disaffection, and is moving to destroy Nigeria's democracy between Nafiu Gombe and INEC?
We understand that,
a combination of both.
We get it. We know the backstory. We've been following this story for a very long time. We've been watching it happen over the past few months. However, what I did want to get from you, and I'm waiting for that answer, is that the course of action that has been decided on by the ADC, continuing with their meetings and whatever, regardless of what INEC has said, calling for the resignation, all these things that you're asking for. My question was, how do you think that's going to get you on the ballot? Because ultimately, that's what you want. You want to be on that ballot in 2027. These actions, will it get you on the ballot?
First of all, let me reply to you in this way. You see, as we speak, the media has a strategic role to play. You have all the records. Where is the place of investigative journalism in this? Why can't we have the media to actually go down deeper than the questions they ask? Why can't we see a situation in which the media, ups the ante by not only asking questions, but going deeper to give Nigerians a perspective of what, for instance, status quo antebellum is? Why don't we sit down? Why don't you sit down with the INEC chairman one-on-one, who comes up with a press release by his own press secretary is not even addressing the issue personally. That's condescending. We ask for the INEC chairman's resignation because he has failed in his duty, not only to the commission, but to Nigerians. And he has failed in his duty to be a man of integrity, a man that can be trusted, a man that can midwife the electoral process. We are very confident that when this matter is finally thrashed in the law courts, we will be on the same page with democracy and on the same page with integrity and conscience. And there is no INEC that can rewrite the rules of the game or upturn the regulations that are germane to the to democracy and governance. INEC cannot come and tell a political party what to do. INEC must also respect that political parties, their own internal democracies and their own internal arrangements must be respected, because that is the constitution of the parties. But everybody knows that what INEC chairman ought to have done was to have waited.
I believe that the point has been made. I mean, you've answered Kayla's question sufficiently that by the time this is done, thrashed out in the courts, I believe you mean that you will be on the same page with everybody. In the meantime, we'll keep watch. That's the media's job, to be a watchdog and to continue to ask questions, to ask the implications of certain things as they unfold in our democracy. We have to thank you for lending us your time this morning, Mr. Ladan Sali, who is a spokesperson of the League of Northern Democrats and is also a chieftain in the African Democratic Congress. Thank you once more for speaking with us.
Thank you for having me.